Hi, this is Breadboy, and today I'm going to be taking a look at a replay that was submitted by Primo. Primo asked for advice on when he should go for the ball and what to do in certain situations. So let's take a look at the replay he submitted. That was a good first save of the game. Alright. So at this point in the game, I've seen you changing your ball cam a lot to find the path to your boost. In spots where you're rotating, it's taking you out of the play in terms of paying attention, and it's useful to know how to use the map markings to find your boost without needing to change your camera angle. It's something small, but it becomes really useful to get in a habit of doing in order to keep an eye on the action. So here you don't really need to go up this close for the ball. If you look closely at the enemy here, his car never really cuts towards you, meaning that it's not going to be in your direct path when he hits it. So that's just something to pay attention to. I'll show you the exact time. You should be able to see when his car is cutting. So right here, you should be able to tell that the ball's not going to be coming close to your car. So it's just something to not worry about having to go for here. So when a player is moving straight along the side, like your teammate did here, it can be a telling sign that he's in need of boost. So instead of going for the same one as him and being grouped up in the same spot, just feel free to grab some boost pads while staying in a defensive position. Also, when you were rotating out, ball cam was off as well. This gives much less information on what's going on with the ball behind you. All right. So at about 55 seconds here, yeah, you saw there that your teammate is moving up on your right, which means that you are going to be the last defender for your team. This is not a safe time to go and grab boost. It's far better to grab pads in front of the goal and to cover until you know that it's at least past half court, or you know it's a safe time to go and recover boost. Going back here, these kind of goals can be prevented by being further back in your goal and not as in front of the goal as you were here. Looks like that was just a mechanical misplant on the wall. Nothing too big there. looks like that was another wall mechanical misplay. You might want to practice a little bit of wall play, potentially. So here, looks like here's a another instance where you look away and go for boosts when you're the last defender for your team. So here you should just try to either grab boost pads in front of you, like I said prior, or wait for an opportunity to rotate with a teammate. Let's see. So here, you should be able to recognize that like where this ball is going. It's going to be too far to your right for the enemy to have a double touch opportunity, and that's the only time you really want to jump early out of the goal is to prevent something like that. It's far safer based on this specific situation of the ball's position to just wait for the ball to hit the crossbar here, since there's little to no chance that a double touch is going to occur. It's going to give you a better sight on the enemy and the ball. Again, there's just some of these situations here where you're turning your ball cam off for too long. I know that one of the most important things that you want to learn from this analysis is positioning, and I really think that positioning is going to come naturally to you from more or less having a better understanding of where people are, which is why camera control is so important. So right here, about fourth, you need to think a bit more carefully here instead. The ball is pretty much unnecessary to go for, as the enemy really had the clear before you got there. So staying back in a bit more defensive position there until the enemy hits it is the most optimal positioning. Also, it's important not to be too close past midfield. Um, Sometimes balls can bounce back extremely fast, and it's better since both your teammates are up like this to be in a lot more of a defensive position. So here, about instead of flipping and hitting it straight on the ground, it would have been much better to try to hit it up without flipping. This makes it much more difficult to defend from the goalie's standpoint since it's above him and he'd have to go up for it instead of just hitting it straight on the ground. Just puts him in more of a position to make a mistake, more or less. So, go back a little bit. Yeah. So here's another instance where you go for boost when you're the last defender back. Even though you're out of boost here, it's a really dangerous spot to go get boost. It's way better to have someone covering that goal instead of leaving it open. Here, it wasn't really necessary for you to jump up. So, right there, you had the right idea. You were just too far forwards. Had you been a bit more while you're facing the ball here, that would have been fine if you were just reversing a little bit more still. Now, I just want to say right there, that was a pretty sick save. Good job on that. So right here, I just wanted to point out, it's really dangerous for your car to be facing parallel with the goal crossbar here, since it's more difficult to cover shots and maneuver your car accordingly. So try to have your car facing, like forwards instead. And also being a bit further back in goal to prepare yourself for enemy shots is also more ideal. So specifically how that would look, I mean, having your car probably like, in this position here facing vertically would be the most ideal. But generally, anywhere vertically in the goal is better than horizontal. This is a good job in realizing that you needed to double jump in that situation. So instead of, it looks like your teammate Works was kind of unprepared here. It's difficult because since you guys are not um, duo teammates or you guys aren't a pre-made threes since this is solos, um, it's really difficult to have good communication. What probably would have been a good idea here is either to just take it to the right and try to force the enemy to come up to you, or you could let's see, you could kind of wait a moment for the ball and try to hit it on its corner, like the corner of your car here, and try to have that hit the corner here to try to pop it up kind of to the right side. This will just force enemies to contest you, and then depending on how the 50-50 works out, your teammates can follow up and try to make a play off of it instead of hitting it, to the side here, where kind of there's some teammates or there's enemy teammates, they can respond to it. This is a close save here. I think the only thing that you could have potentially done better is um, use whatever key you have bound for air roll. Usually for controllers, it's that top left bumper. Um, just turning your car slightly to the left, and then flicking right to try to get as far. Let's see how the best way to describe this is. You want to really try to hit this portion of the ball the best you can, and the best way to do that is to make your car half its width by turning uh, this direction when you're in the air, um, like exposing sort of the belly of your car to the ball. That's really the best opportunity you had to make this save here, since it was really fast and last minute to really get to. So I'll recap a bit of what we went over. So one thing that happened quite a bit during the course of the game was a loss in visual contact with the ball and commonly choosing boost over ball. You need to position yourself first and foremost and get boost second. The reason that I stress visual contact a lot during this game, even sometimes I didn't point out not using your camera because I felt like it got a bit repetitive. I didn't want that to be the main focus of the replay analysis, but when you're going for boost as well, and it'll naturally help you in knowing where to rotate since you'll have better sight on your teammates. Another topic of note is the idea of when to go for what kind of boost. So when you're either trying to stay in a play or keep your current position, boost pads are really a good way to go. Uh, or while you're rotating out, boost starving or moving up, then that's a good time to go for the 100% canisters. Another thing to stress is car positioning while in goal and keeping yourself from going for shots which are out of your reach. Those were really the main things that stuck out to me in your replay. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me by direct messaging me on the Discord, and thanks. Have a good one.